Hello and welcome. It is Maya Ojikwe here, also known as Mentored by Maya. And we've took a little bit of a break from doing these, but we are back for our next MBM client interview. And today we have our lovely, amazing Dominique. Dominique is going to be talking us through her journey inside of MBM and her journey through fitness and past phases that she's tried. We have just celebrated her results over the last weekend with a shoot. And I think she is the perfect person to hear from, especially if you're trying to make a lifestyle change too. So introduce yourself, Dominique. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, so I'm Dominique. I'm 31 years old from the UK. So I live in Sheffield at the moment. My background is Guyanese, Zambian, and English. I've been into fitness at varying levels probably for about 14, 15 years now. But I'm at the stage now where I felt like a coach was necessary to take me up a notch to the next level, and hence why I'm here.
Exactly. I love all the flags. I've got to say that. That's a very good mix of flags there. I love that. Okay, lovely. So I think I'd like to take it right back then, Dominique. I know you've been on your fitness journey and your lifestyle changed for quite a while, but what were your maybe biggest beliefs or fears around fitness, nutritional lifestyle change before you got to where you was today? Because I know so many women probably have them themselves.
Yeah. So my experience was very much woe is me, I feel. Looking back in hindsight, I always felt like I was burdened with a bigger body than average, all the way from being a child, a small child, in fact, throughout my adolescence and then in my early 20s to then where I am now at 31. I felt it was unfair. I felt like I tried really hard. As I say, I've been in the gym since I was about 16, 17. But I was always bigger than average. And rather than addressing why, I think I just thought I was dealt those cards and there was no getting around it. Until, of course, I decided to get a coach. And then I began to see that, the playing field within reason is relatively level. You've just got to understand nutrition and exercise a bit more to see the results.
Yeah, and it's so interesting what you said there. You've been training since you were like 17 and 16, and like your understanding of your body at that time versus when you're a grown woman. Because I know I felt that. I was like, why don't I like look this way? Why is this like my body when everyone else's is that? But we're comparing ourselves to people who are
Yeah.
like older, or we don't get the right advice from when we're young, right?
Absolutely. I think as well, I grew up in a predominantly white city. And I think when you think about body image, it's different if you're a person of colour. How we hold weight and where we hold weight is very different. So I feel like I was always comparing myself to people who aren't similar to me or who don't look like me. So I was stuck basically in this framing of what I should look like rather than trying to understand what I personally can look like.
Yeah. I think we live the same life. I used to look at my legs and be like, why are my legs so like big? But
Yeah.
I'm literally Nigerian, like these
hmm
are what it was. Okay, so when you obviously first stepped into it then, was there anything that maybe made you feel disconnected or maybe overwhelmed when you looked at like a fitness or a lifestyle change, Dominique?
Yeah, 100%. So I have had a coach before in the past, and I saw results with that coach quite considerably, but it was very much hard work. And I know there's always a level of hard work to seeing results, of course, but it felt like it did take over my whole life and it became unsustainable. Because for an 8-week challenge, great, you can knuckle down, you can restrict yourself and you can see results, but the longevity within working with that coach, for me personally, it wasn't sustainable. For other people, of course, but for me, I wanted to be able to experience a balanced life. That's all I wanted. A paramount, really, above anything else. I wanted to know that I can still enjoy things, but work hard and still see results. So leaving that coach, I think it was in 2022. I then went solo for about 3 years. thinking, well, I've learned now, I know what to do in the gym, which I did, but I wasn't seeing results. So I was kind of, again, back in the woe is me mind frame, thinking I do everything right. I get my steps in, I sleep well, I drink water, I go to the gym, I eat well, I thought as well. So why aren't I seeing results? And I know, Maya, you and I would chatted a few times on Instagram, and I saw your content and I loved it for what it was. But I think for me, it was a timing situation. And I know when I enrolled with you, the timing just felt right to really just focus on myself and get the best out of what I was already doing, but also tweaking it as well, to see how good it can get, basically.
Yeah. And I love what you said there. It's like you wanted that balance. I think when we do look outside into like the fitness world or like the body composition, like changing your physique world, it looks so intense. And a lot of people forget like we've got a life. Like not everybody can be hitting 15K steps a day. Not everyone can sustain these super long, low diets for long periods of
Mm,
time. I think that's when you know it's more lifestyle, when you're trying to find that sustainability. Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Okay, so what was that moment then? Because I know you mentioned it was like timing. So
Mm.
what was that moment where you kind of realized is that you wanted help beyond doing it alone? Was there anything that kind of just sparked that feeling?
Yeah, I think it was because I was like in the gym probably 3 times a week on average, and I was enjoying it, but I felt like I'd kind of hit a glass ceiling, um, in my lifts, in the development I was seeing, and at that time I'd been consistent for quite a while, but wasn't really seeing the results, and I wanted to understand why more than anything, why I could be so consistent and, as I say, get my steps, sleep well, blah de blah, but still not see those results. And above that as well, I think my age, like being 31, I've had everything else was pretty much sorted in my life. Um, so it was time to start just working on me. What do I want from the future? Where do I see myself? Because I've got the time now to really put the effort in more than anything.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so much changes from like as you get older, like what you truly want as well. I think
Yeah,
like you start to see, like you said before, I want this to be sustainable. I know what timing's right for me as well. Okay,
yeah,
so you've definitely gone past that glass ceiling or, that plateau point. We know that
mm,
because you have achieved so much since starting, and it's absolutely incredible to see all the progress that you've made over these like last couple months from the shoot, from your
yeah.
holidays. But I think, one thing I wanted to know, is there any preconceptions that you maybe had on like coaching environments or getting a coach? Was there anything that kind of made you think, is that for me, even from your past?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I said, I felt like having a coach had to mean that I was super restrictive. I like enjoying myself. That is like the priority in my life, was enjoying myself, is enjoying myself rather. So I thought that having a coach, I would have to be really restrictive and take away socializing and enjoyment and nice meals and things like that, and just have to completely go cold turkey to see results. And I've realised that that's not the case. I can still do all those things with a coach, but with the knowledge and the support to, again, do it sustainably and enjoy balance and know that I've worked hard and I've laid the groundwork so I can enjoy myself. Not every single weekend, but there are times when you do have social events and you do want an off-plan meal or a couple of drinks, and knowing that I can do that, not get shouted at come Monday morning and hit the ground running, get straight back to it and continue to see results. Like, that's all I wanted.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say this because I literally was just online before and I seen like, the optimization culture has just like gone through the roof. Like everyone's scared to have like a glass of wine. They need to get the 8 hours, they need to live like a robot. But it's
Mm.
like, don't we do all these things, like invest in our health and our bodies to actually feel good when we go and be social and go and have a life? Like if we
Yeah,
don't have that, what's the point?
exactly. That's how I feel. Like, I know now with the routines and structures that I have in place that I can work hard but equally enjoy. And that's all I do it for that balance. And as you say, it is definitely a lifestyle change and a lifestyle journey more so than a fat loss, weight loss journey for me. It's being able to strike the balance and know that I've like imparted all your knowledge and wisdom. So even moving forward well into the future, I don't have to be scared and apprehensive about going out at the weekend. I'm not going to be, reversing all the hard work from the weeks before. I'm just going to continue doing what we've been doing together. And ultimately, the results will continue to show. So it's a great feeling knowing that it is possible.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Well, little background about Dominique. She's lost about 17 kg now, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's done shoots. She's been on multiple holidays. She has become so strong in the gym. Like, if I could show you some of her videos, you'd be like, wow, she's doing 32 kg, single leg, whatever. She's doing whatever she's doing. But I did want to know, was there a belief or the hardest belief that you had to unlearn about maybe dieting or how results should look along the way?
Yeah, I think I fell into this belief that, well, two, to be honest. One, that you had to be super strict at all times to see results, which we've touched on a bit already. But also more recently, before I signed up with yourself, it was, you know, online I had seen a lot, which I fell victim to, that if you eat whole foods, it's going to sound silly, if you eat whole foods and lift weights, then you'll see results. So that's the mantra that I was following. I cooked all my meals, I ate good food, and I lifted weights. So that's why, again, I fell into that mindset that it's a me problem. I'm doing something wrong because I'm doing what they're telling me to do on the internet. I'm lifting weights, I'm eating well, and I'm getting my steps in. Like, what more could I be doing? What more could I possibly be doing? Because, as I said, I was consistent in the gym. I meal prepped every Sunday, but something just wasn't clicking. So yeah, signing up with you was just understanding what the missing links were basically, and understanding what I needed to actually knowing me, sorry, and knowing my body, knowing my routine, what's actually going to work for me, not just the general population. Especially as somebody who had been in the gym weightlifting pretty heavy for a considerable amount of time. Obviously, it's not one size fits all. You have to consult with a professional and then you'll understand what you as an individual need to do, just not, a blanket, this will work kind of thing.
Yeah. There's too many of the one size fits all approaches now,
Yeah.
There's so much that people come online and absorb and they're like, oh, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? And technically, yeah, lifting weights and eating whole foods is what we want to encourage. But some people, they need that structure, they need that
Mm.
phasing, they need to be able to understand if I do X, Y, Z, this is what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
because there's so much out there now, everyone's just like, what the fuck? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, it's like ping pong, isn't it? Like listening to so many advisors on the internet, there's no wonder you don't know what to do or what you should best be doing to see results, because people do cardio, don't do cardio, lift heavy weights, lift light weights for more reps. Like, it's so confusing. And if you don't know, you just follow what you think's right at the time, and then that popular trend changes, and then you're left like, what should I do now?
Honestly, anytime I see a trend in the fitness, lifestyle, wellness space, I'm like, no, I'm not falling victim to this again because we know what
Yeah.
it's about. But outside of your physical changes, then, has anything shifted maybe mentally or emotionally for you during this journey, maybe over the past couple months?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say I understand now that I can do it. Like, the mental blocks that I had put in my way, again, when I wasn't seeing the physical change, I think, again, victim mentality, although I've never thought of myself as a victim or that I victimized myself, when it came to progress and health and fitness, I think I did victimize myself quite a bit because I just thought it was unattainable for me. But now I realize that it definitely is attainable, and the progression will keep going. as long as I stay consistent and dedicated, I will keep progressing. Even if that's not in fat loss, whether that's in muscle building, I don't know what the future may hold, but I know that I'm capable. So yeah, I think in the last couple of months that's definitely clicked, and I understand now that, you know, the limit is endless. I'm really excited for the future and what, you know, what we can get to working together.
Yes, exactly. I love that. And since you've just said that, then, what do you believe the next focus is for you, then, Dominique? Knowing that you've achieved so much so far, do you feel like
Yeah.
there's something next coming for you?
That's a good question. I feel like I would really, I feel like I'm ready for a building phase to really start growing some muscle. Because as you know, I enjoy weightlifting quite a lot. And as I've dropped fat the past few months quite considerably, I'm starting to see my muscles poking through, and it's a great feeling. And I'd love to be able to develop them a bit more, come out of the deficit, and just see what my body can do, really, see how strong I can get, see how strong my lifts can get, because even in a deficit, I lift well, and heavy. So I'm just excited to see what possibilities are out there in terms of my lifting, and then subsequently what that does to my body.
Yeah. And it's so empowering as well. Like I know for me, like it was such a fear thinking, oh my God, I don't want to ever like gain scale weight. But once that
Mm,
like whole narrative switches and it's like, no, I actually want to build more muscle. I want to see those physical changes. And it's always been about fat loss and then it goes to the other side. It is
yeah.
so empowering and I actually hope that every single woman can feel that because once you do, you're like, yeah, I've done this. Like it doesn't always
Mm.
have to be about being the skinniest or smallest version of yourself every single day.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like because I've been in a fat loss phase for quite a while, subconsciously, the weight on the scale is something that you prioritize. It's definitely something that I've prioritized because obviously the goal is to drop fat. So you want to be checking, am I dropping fat? Is the weight going down? But I know that being more in a build phase where the goal isn't to drop anything, it's to gain muscle, then I'm hoping that in my head there's a shift again, that I don't even care about the scale weight and I just enjoy looking at my body and being like, oh, these muscles are popping, they weren't here before. And I think that is what I will be like when we get there.
Yes, lovely, very exciting. Well, I know you've obviously been on this journey for a while, Dominique. So my last question really is there's so many women out there who have probably felt the way that you felt, maybe been on a similar journey. And let's say a woman's listening back to this and she's maybe scared or overwhelmed or even feels like she's like failed too many times at this whole
Mm.
fitness thing. What would you say to her?
I would say that you're only as good as the information and the knowledge that you have, right? So trying to do something solo when there are experts out there who have the knowledge and the know-how to impart on you, it just makes sense. Like, from my point of view, as I said earlier, I thought I knew everything. You know, I've had a coach before. I thought I was clued up on fitness, lifestyle, transformations. So for a while, I was reluctant. And then when I accepted that it's not possible to know everything, or if you want to see greater results, then you're going to have to learn more. Then I understood that the best way to do that would be to get a coach. And I made a TikTok about it. May, you've seen it, about how close I was to trying GLP-1s. This was back end of last year. At that point, again, because I was in the gym, because I was consistent, I thought that the next possible thing to try to actually see some results would be a weight loss aid. And it was in that moment that I thought, and I weighed up, you know, if I'm doing all these things already, I'm already in the gym, I'm already getting my steps in and cooking healthy meals, then why would I need to use an aid like that when really I could use that time and money and invest it with a coach who can just like further boost what I'm already doing. if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So yeah, I guess I would say that think about who you want to be, think about your priorities, what the best version of yourself is, and then, well, in my eyes, the best way to go about it and get that is to consult with somebody who has the knowledge and the know-how to get you there. So yeah, I visualize constantly who I want to be, what I want to live like, what the best version of me is. And I think this journey working with yourself, Maya, is just helping me get to that position that I want to be in, to the point that, I won't have a coach forever. Hopefully I won't need a coach forever. But if I've got the resources and it's bettering myself and my future self, then why wouldn't I? I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
if you can, then why wouldn't you? If you can spend that money, on, not saying it's cliche to say takeaways, coffees, I know it is, or clothes or anything. If you can spend that money elsewhere, why wouldn't you spend it on being the best version of yourself, basically?
Honestly, that is exactly how I think about things as well. Like realizing that you don't know everything. Like even now, Dominique, like as a coach, people sometimes come to me thinking that, I know everything. No, I don't. I'm still learning the same way that other people are learning and what stages and chapters that we are. But
Mm.
honestly, I think that's just the most beautiful mindset to have because even if we do get aids, you can't switch your mindset just using an aid. You have to be able to bring both of them together at once. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what you do. But yes, amazing. Any other things you wanted to close on, or any other messages that you want to send?
Um, No, I don't think so. Just invest in yourself, like, and don't be scared either. Like you mentioned the photo shoot earlier. I think the confidence that comes with seeing you transform yourself and knowing that you've put in the hard work, like, forget what you physically look like in the mirror or when the photos come, I should say, the confidence that you feel knowing that I did that. Do you know what I mean? Like looking at the before and afters and the progress pictures, it's important to take progress pictures as well. But being able to look back at them and be like, I really did that. Like I did that for me, for myself, nobody else. I've grafted and I'm reaping the rewards. And the rewards for me is the confidence that's come with it.
Yeah, you really did that. That's what we want to be able to say. And every woman deserves to celebrate themselves. Honestly, Dominique,
Yeah.
thank you so much for stepping into our MBM hot room. We have other episodes from our other clients as well, but I just wanted to bring Dominique on because it's been absolutely incredible watching you transform over these past couple months. And I just know that these next 5 months, 6 months, are we saying? We're in July
Yeah.
of 2026 are going to be incredible. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. See ya.
See you later.